This is probably the most exciting harvest. I've waited 2 years for this. Welcome to the December tour and harvest. Let's get started. This area I feel is very autumnal. It's got this cherry seedling. I actually grew this from twig. It was about that big when I put it in the ground. It's doing really well. It's taller than I am now. It's died back completely, but it's got loads of these little leaf buds on it, so I'm quite excited for next year. I'm probably going to trim off most of the branches at the bottom so that it grows up more than just out on the sides. I think it's doing so well. Got no cherries yet though, so hopefully next year. This asparagus is in its 3rd year, I think. I grew it from seed and looks great. I love the colour, but it's about to die down. All of these dead plants I'm going to trim down so that we have, you know, no place that bad insects can overwinter. I like to kind of eke it out until the last blossom has been enjoyed, but the frost is well and truly here now. This area I've covered in horse manure because it's done for the year. We grew tons of beans here last year, and I'm just taking down this A-frame. I don't like leaving these up over winter because they basically get completely ruined by the weather. So I'm going to put these away where they'll be protected from the elements. This area here is showing the first hints of garlic. Got garlic there, a garlic there, a garlic there. Just little rows of garlic, which is super exciting. This is one of my favourite harvests. It's so nice to see it slowly coming through. Garlic's super heavy feeder, so now it's coming through, I will put some blood and fishbone down as well, just to give that extra sort of boost. But this is fresh horse manure, so it's absolutely packed with all sorts of nutrients. This is one of the most Christmassy beds that we have here on the allotment because it's got Brussels sprouts in it. And Brussels sprouts, can you even have Christmas dinner without Brussels sprouts at this point? I don't think so, especially not in my family. They love Brussels sprouts. This is the best idea that I stole off my mum. It's an old stool with a squishy cushion, you know, that you sit on. It's from a vanity, and it makes the best nearly cushion. It's like sprout galore here. This is the time of year you're really thankful for everything that you are harvesting. Thank you, Mother Nature. Next here are these raspberries. Now, these raspberries were so prolific this year. I mean, I had absolute tons of raspberries, but they're done for the year. So what we need to do is cut them down to the ground. Depending on what type of raspberries you have, you either cut them down to the ground or leave them. So make sure you do your research before you say, oh, women from the internet told me to cut them, so I cut them. Now they're all dead, so just be careful on that. These ones you do have to cut down to the ground. This whole area is done for the season. So just put this black plastic down just to smother the weeds. And then as I come through, I kind of go patch by patch by patch, covering it in cardboard and horse manure. But of course, cardboard is quite abundant this time of year, but I didn't have that many because a lot of it blew away in the last storm we had. So this is what I'm going to do, is slowly move back and back and back. The area over there needs to be wood chipped again, but I'm going to go ahead and do that now that it's all beautifully clipped. This area is an abundant overwintering brassica area, and I have all sorts of things from broccoli to cauliflower just waiting for the spring where it will get another boost of energy. But it will be really important to have it, you know, over the cooler period. Keep something live in the soil. Mother Nature likes something growing continuously. I also have things like pak choy that's not quite ready to pick, but hopefully in a couple of weeks will be. I've got some swede also there, just waiting for the potential to be picked. This is my larger raspberry area, and I think the leaves just look so autumnal and beautiful. But it is time this gets chopped down too. Everything has its season, and these have finished, but we got so many raspberries. And this year my daughter really got a love for raspberries. Normally she's not fussed by them at all. She really likes them when they're frozen, so she was eating tons of frozen raspberries this year, and we picked absolutely tons of them. And it's so much easier to like look after a plant and nurture it when you actually like eating it. So she was really hot on picking the raspberries this year. This area every single year produces absolutely tons of tomatoes. It's probably the most productive place on the entire allotment plot because it just produces absolute tons. We grow a year of tomato sauce, tomato ketchup, tomato, well, barbecue sauce, etc. So that's really, really good, and I'm so happy with this area. It does need to be peeled back, and we're going to cover it in horse manure, as we do every year, to keep it nice and productive. This area wasn't so productive. I've grown absolute kilos and kilos and kilos and kilos of squash here, but I only produced a few this year. Now, it could be a combination of things. It was quite a cold summer this year, so that could be an issue, but it was also I didn't get my squash out as early as I'd like to, and I wasn't the one who actually planted them, so I had an issue bending because I had a C-section. So I wonder if that had anything to do with it, but next year I'm really determined to get back to our squash greatness. Although, to be honest, we didn't do so bad this year. Food is food, right? What was your worst performing crop this year? Let me know down below. Maybe it's not just me. Now, this area is one of the most exciting areas, in my humble opinion, because this is going to be Jasmine's area. She's requested a bigger area, going to flatten this out, cover it with wood chip and do raised beds. That's what she wants to do. And I'm all for getting kids into the garden, so we'll see how much potential this area has. Come Boxing Day, we always come over here on Boxing Day, start off our onions, and we're going to replace the fence that goes across that allotment, and we're going to completely flatten this out and wood chip the whole lot. I've just finished horse manuring this yesterday, and I planted all my cabbages out. We've got 2 rows of hero cabbage, which will be perfect come spring. It's going to be overwintering here, feeding the soil and having that connection with nature. Whereas here we've got our peas all along here, and these are meteor peas. They're very early peas. I might go ahead and conch these and put a little blanket over them, but hopefully this year we're going to get loads of peas. Peas are just the best. The issue with peas though, isn't it, is they never get home. So if you ever see my partner be like, Nick can't grow peas, because I just stuff them in my mouth. They're so good raw. This area here is going to be broad beans. I need to plant them. I keep coming down here and forgetting my broad beans. Am I the only one who does that? I can't be. I can come down every single time I come down. I'm like, Nick, you need to bring the broad beans and you need to bring a broom to broom off that side of the allotment. There's like a lot of debris on it, so I want to broom it off. And I'm like, yep, got it. It's all up here. And then suddenly I don't remember. And I'm here now and I'm like, why didn't you remember them 2 things? My head's like a sieve. Now, this area is the artichokes. This could be very productive. You know, it's a little bit like digging potatoes. You never know what you're going to get. Last time I dug here, do you remember, guys? It was so productive and it was great. The issue with artichokes is that they do have a little bit of a reputation. So unless you want to be tooting like crazy, you do have to ferment them. So I have to remember to get some of these fermenting for Christmas. Now, you don't really want to pull out too many of these because they don't store so well. Best way I found to store them is in a plastic bag. They do store for a few weeks like that. There's a potato as well. That one's a potato. That one's a potato. The great thing about artichokes, you don't actually have to sow them, because once you've got them in the ground, they are there forever. Tiny little ones like this will get away from you and they'll produce a whole entire crop. I didn't sow these last year, by the way. Wow. That's what we're talking about. Jeez Louise. Ugh. Look, I can't even lift it. Let's get them off. He woman. Wow. This one's done so well. My goodness, look. Could you get any more on that? Can we get any off of it? Wow, look at that one. That's huge. They're all lumpy and bumpy. You don't want to spread these around your allotment though, because they will grow everywhere. Wow, look at that one. God, it's like Christmas has come early. Wow. My goodness, look at these ones. They're massive. God, there's so many of them as well. You can see why they say if you grow these, you'll never be hungry ever again. But the only problem is back in the day, we kind of eating these as cave people, because they're there, you coming. Oh, wow, that one is epic. Oh. It's even a purple spud. Wow, look at that. That is massive. Don't want to get too many out because they don't store very well. Just want to get as many I'm going to eat this week. And don't worry, I'll be fermenting them. You won't be able to smell me before you hear me, before you see me. Look at all of them. Okay, so this bed here is rhubarb. Rhubarb is done for the season, so it does look like a little bit of a mess. And you have my peonies. The only issue I have with peonies are beautiful. Peonies are probably one of my favourite flowers. But like, peonies also, they come, they're beautiful. Oh, I got some beautiful bouquets, and I had huge bouquets from my peonies, and then they were done. They only last a few months, but they're so nice when they're in. So yes, I do have a bed of peonies, and yes, they look like that most of the year. This is a beautiful harvest bed, this one. This is my garlic. It's done so well so far. My garlic does get terrible rust. We're leaning a little bit more into the elephant garlic because elephant garlic doesn't have rust. So there's a little tip if you're like me and you really suffer from rust. But this is going to be a really exciting bed because it's got garlic in it, and garlic's one of my favourite things to eat. A little bit boring to grow because you just set it and forget it. But it's honestly, it's one of them ones that every year you're like, when it comes to harvest time, because it's just so rewarding to have huge bulbs of organic, beautiful garlic. You just can't buy the sort of flavours that you can grow yourselves in the store, can you? This bed, ta-da, is empty. It's where we grew our peppers this year. I've done nothing with it, naughty. But like I said, I will slowly, from the front, work down to the back to reset my garden. What happened to your elf hat? Where's your elf hat? You're meant to be an elf. It's not a good elf, is it? This is probably the most exciting harvest. I've waited 2 years for this. What do you think it is? It's my marshmallow. Gonna make marshmallows today or tomorrow. Well, for you it'll be in a minute. You'll see the whole recipe for homemade marshmallows with marshmallow. Ugh. Nick, put black plastic over your marshmallows. Such a good idea. Said no one. Goodness, these are in. Hey, woman. So it's the root that we're actually looking for. Of course, I'm going for the biggest one. Perhaps that's a mistake. Perhaps I should go for one of the small ones. Got to work up them core muscles, mostly flab nowadays. Right. I just poked myself in the eye. Yeah, that's better. Just know that I could edit this so it looks really flawless and like I'm not struggling. So you'll see that I didn't do that. Are we ready? Are we ready? Steady, Eddie. Jesus. I don't know what's worse, being whipped in the face by these or the struggle to get them out. Honestly, massive mistake putting this on the black plastic. I don't know what I was thinking. See if it comes out. Oh. The seeds are going everywhere. There will be marshmallows for years. Look. This is what we're harvesting. This here. And I know you're thinking, crack it open, Nick. It'll look like marshmallow inside. It won't. It doesn't look like marshmallow inside. But I thought it'd look different, and it doesn't. Look at that. That is what marshmallow looks like. It apparently tastes a lot like grass. I know what you're thinking, Nick, you have to eat it. Don't worry, I'll get to that. Get to it, calm down. I think I'm gonna get another one though, because I don't think that's enough. I'm definitely gonna have to plant some more seeds of this, I think. Ugh. Oh, Jesus. This plant is in there. I'll leave some of the root in there and it will grow back up, but that will probably give me enough. Some of these are a lot better, look. I do think, they say you can harvest it after 2 years, but I think a 3rd year would be better. But look, that's what I'm talking about. That sort of level there, but they're really difficult to get out. So next year, that's gonna be even better. But they're quite tender, a lot more tender. I thought they were gonna be a bit more like licorice root. This whole area I haven't got to. Like I said, I'm working front, back, and this bit's a little bit dodge. This is my peach tree that hasn't produced any peaches yet, but it's looking quite good. I'm always hopeful this time of year. I'm like, yeah, definitely. Look how many buds it's got on it. This area, I'm not gonna lie to you, I covered in cardboard, it all blew off. So I'm gonna have to re-cardboard it, but I'm not gonna do that until I horse manure it. I'm gonna do what I did over there, cardboard a bit, horse manure a bit, cardboard a bit, horse manure a bit. Much easier, much better, much nicer. This is a brassica bed. There's not very much growing here, I have to say. It's more waiting for winter to be over. Got a bit of broccoli that looks like it's, whoops, starting to head up here, but not very much is happening at all. Some cabbages are thinking about making a head, but not quite doing anything. Same for this bed here, just waiting for spring. Got a little broccoli here, so let's go ahead and cut some of this off. It's the side shoot, so it's not bad at all, is it? Wow, look. Look at that, it's so cute. Purple sprouting broccoli. It must be very confused because it's not meant to sprout until spring. But I'm not complaining. You're complaining though, aren't you, Roo? Wow, look at that. And last but not least, I'm well chuffed with that. That will do us a little broccoli dinner. The rest of this is less confused purple sprouting broccoli, so that won't be here until about March, which is about our birthday. Andrew used to hate broccoli. When I first gave him broccoli, he actually cried, but we've given it to him a few more times because I'm mean, and now he quite likes it. Next up on our winter menu is swede. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves a swede. I'm going to grab 2 of these. They're not the most biggest, but they are certainly very tasty and very tender. 2 of those will do us for the week. Look at them. Now we're going to get to the fun part. We're going to be making marshmallows. To make marshmallows, what I do is I take the marshmallow root and I crush it, and then I blitzed it up a couple of seconds with my hand blender just to make it really small. I infused that overnight. That took a surprising amount of time to go through. Okay, I'm going to pour 2 cups of the marshmallow infusion into this pan to heat up. We're going to add some honey into this. We want to boil this for about 5 minutes. With the other 2 cups we have, we're going to add in some beef gelatin. I then whisk that together with the really hot syrup, and it will make a really airy, beautiful marshmallow liquid, which I put onto a baking sheet. If you crunch up the baking sheet and then lay it flat, it doesn't curl over on itself. So that's what I did, and then I just smoothed it out the best I could, and it worked perfectly. It makes the best, most creamiest hot chocolate.